It is day three, and I mean, come on, the time like flew by so fast. Let me see. Can I go side by side? Well, that makes it so small. I just wanted to say hey, so you guys can see me. We'll make it bigger after this. But um, today's going to be a really good day. We are going to talk about the Diva timeline shifting method. And we're put specifics in. Oh, Allie's joining. We're gonna put some specifics in so you know like how to utilize this in your world. And I also am going to talk about the alignment lab and invite you guys in. What I want to say is I always want you to know, even though I am inviting you into somewhere, I want you to always know that you get to follow your heart. You get to follow your intuition. Never feel pressured to join anything. I always want it to be from a space of excitement. And then there's always something for you, even if it's not like the big experience that's there. For example, there's the alignment assessment. Like if you're like, I want to be in the lab, but I'm not ready yet, there's the alignment assessment. A lot of the ladies that are on the call today are part of the assessment. And so you get to know that you can say yes to that. And it's $50. I think it's normally 77, but for you, it'll be $50 for you to be in. You take the assessment, you get to be a part of the like these 3-day experiences and all the things. And so it's just that you don't have like the group walking through what I'm going to talk about in the alignment lab. Okay. And so that's one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand. And so that you never feel pressure, you can just take an exhale and like say, ah, I could just have fun listening to what's in the alignment lab. And if one day I feel excited about it, I can join. Or if today's the day, it gets to be the day. How many of you can be like, okay, thank you so much? Yes, yes, Kelly's like, I appreciate that. And then there's always other things too. Um, like I've given a lot of people when you're like, okay, money is the thing that I'm challenged with. I got the great idea. Who gave me that idea? Somebody gave me the idea. We're gonna do she who shifts like the 3-day event that's specifically focused on money. I just have to look at what time I have on my schedule because that's gonna be amazing. But then I have like the conscious money mindset. And that'll be a gift for you. And then also the money manifesting intensive, we can make sure that we get that to you. You just reach out to me and I'll make sure that I get that to you as a gift so that you just don't feel like you're walking away and you really wanted something and you didn't. Because trust me, I know how this feels. I've told the story and I'll probably tell the story today. You know what? I'll tell that story today about how I went from having a multiple six-figure career and to filing for bankruptcy when I started this business. And when I had that $60,000 month, I overinvested and it was, a $25,000 mastermind here, a $30,000 coach here. It was just so much that I put myself in so much pressure that I always promise that when I'm leading someone and I'm guiding the team, a group of people, I never want you ever to feel like you are placing yourself in harm or anything like that. So anyway, I put this in the beginning and I felt led to say that because I want you to enjoy this experience. What I love to do when I'm in these type of experiences and when someone is sharing and showing how to sell, especially if I have an online business, I'm a real estate agent, or if I have anything, I love to watch and experience the sales experience because I like to say, ooh, what parts do I like? What would I like to include in my sales experience? And all of those things. So I'm just bringing all of these things up so that you can experience this call and enjoy it and love it and never feel any pressure. So let me know if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. We're going to have some fun and we're going to talk about the Diva timeline shifting, which is going to be super, super good. Okay, y'all ready? All right, so now let's do this again. Oh no, that's with me as the background. We don't want that. Um, That's over the shoulder. Oh, these are just all different ways that they've decided to do this. Okay, let's do it like that. All right. Are y'all loving this experience? So let me see. So today is about the shift. And hold on, let's see if I can do, oh, wrong way. Maybe I am doing it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, I did it too fast. Isn't she cute? Okay. Today is the shift, and we're going to talk about the timeline shifting method because we talked about a couple of things today. And I mean, for the last couple of days, we talked about the truth behind timeline shifting, that it is real. We also talked about the fact that there's a mirror, right? And what you're seeing is mirroring back to you. And then we also talked about what's the most important thing is the 9 levels, the 9 thresholds that with identity shifting and with timeline shifting. And when you know when you're going through those levels, the more when you go through each one of those thresholds, it gives you the awareness so you don't quit, so that you keep moving forward, so you know that things get to work out for you and you don't get as discouraged when some things that are challenging happens. It doesn't mean it's not working. And so what I want to do, and she's so cute. I just love this little girl with her little shoulder dance. I do the shoulder dance too, especially when food is good. It's like, mm. Okay. So what I want to know from you, what is the biggest shift that you've had over these last couple of days? What is the biggest shift that you've had? I say last 3 days, but I guess we can include today as one of the days. Kelly, when Kelly came in really early, which I love, um, there's two of me. Yes, okay. Oh, okay, I see now. Okay, so there's two of me. That's hilarious. Um, Kelly, I want you guys to think of who you were when you walked through this door. I'm celebrating Kelly because Kelly has already uploaded videos into the YouTube and she's already uploaded some reels into Meta. And that is a difference. That is a shift in just 3 days, and so I'm really proud of you for that shift and for making those choices and moving. And when I think about that, and I would love for you guys, if you can think of like one thing that you did that maybe you wouldn't have done had you not experienced this 3 day event. Even if it's a new thought, even if it's feeling lighter, even if it's, wow, I'm thinking about something slightly different. I know with Kimber's like, wow, the idea what we talked about in VIP about reading a book to the audience and how that helped one lady. She just read that book, and I still have it, The History of Something Something. It's like the United States True History or something like that. Anyway, she read that book and now she's like 200,000 followers. And for Kimber, it's like, wow, that was an idea. That was something that, right? And so I'm pointing these out so that you can see oftentimes we don't acknowledge the little tiny shifts. And what I want you to do is acknowledge these small shifts because everything compounds. And it compounds faster when you acknowledge it and when you say, oh, look at this. This is shifting. I've decided this is who I am. This is how it gets to be. And when I tell you it makes such a difference, it's huge. It's huge. Okay, so Kelly says, I felt stuck and now I'm making moves. I'm a bit scared about the speed of the results, but I'm still going to move forward. You know what? What we get to do, what's important, and I want to know if you guys can feel this, but when we stop looking, and I understand because there's bills to pay, you have to move, you've got a lot of things going on, right? And so we're in those, like you're in the initiation phase and you're moving, right? But you're going up the spiral. And what we if we stop looking at it as I have bills to pay, I have things I have to do, and say, I'm doing this from a service, I'm doing this because I know I was placed on this earth for entertainment, for sharing these stories, right? Using Kelly as an example, or for Kember, it's like to help women exit toxic relationships, exit karmic, like clear karmic connections and ties, and just really, go from being male centered egocentric and not believing in themselves to really starting to give themselves acknowledge the power that they have within. I mean, imagine the world when you can do that. When you focus on that service, I promise you will start to see the byproducts, which are more clients, some money flowing in, like being supported, because it's money's job to support you. It's money's job to expand to support you. And so when you are doing your mission, when you are doing what you've been purposed on this earth to do, you are supported. And what we get to do is we get to shift that and shift that to a present belief. How many of you have been told that, oh, you can't make money at this, or you have a passion about this, oh, you can't be paid about that? That's something that I know, especially for being someone who's I guess you call it a zillennial, since I'm like right on that cusp, but um, it was always told go to school, work for someone else that's stable. And now, if you look at what's happening in the world today, that's not necessarily the most stable route anymore because a lot of these companies, I think Oracle just laid off another 30,000 people. And so it's like, well, I can take my power into my own hands. And even if um, you know you have a passion for something, just trust that even if you set it up as a side hustle or and I hate to not hustle, a side experience, a side pathway of income, you get to be supported above and beyond what you could even imagine or think because you are doing your purpose work and you are doing what you've been placed on this earth to do. So trust, if it's to entertain the public, that is so important right now. What's happening in the world today, too, I want you guys to know entertainment is going to be very important, and spirituality and people's personal development is going to be very important. If you think about 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, the most important things people were consuming and putting themselves in, which is why the frequency of the earth and the frequency of people raised, is because they were entertaining themselves, dancing on TikTok, having fun. And what? Because they were doing internal work. They were working internally. How many of you are picking up what I'm putting down? And so if you have something that helps people to feel entertained, if you are doing something that helps people come more in alignment with themselves and with their own power, you are about to be in high demand. I would say now you are in high demand. And what we get to do is to look at the greater public and the people who your ideal clients are and start to think about how you get to serve them and make yourself known, because now is your time. Now is your freaking time. Okay, let's see. There's a bit of that. A lot of people will tell me something is hard as if it's not. Yeah, as if it's not a reason to do it. It's like, okay, yeah, it may be hard and it could be hard for them, right? And that's why they would never do it. But there are a lot of things that we do in just regular reality, like sometimes waking up and going to a job, right? A 9 to 5, that can be hard for people, right? It's like you choose your heart. You choose, or because I decide that everything works for me. It works for me with ease. I get to be in flow and things get to flow with for ease, flow for me. And so what they may think is hard could just be me in flow, and it's not. I choose to see that it works for me. So anyway, oh my goodness, we just had a whole session. Okay, guys. Like, so if you want to think of like just even one thing, you came in Monday and you were feeling this, and you're leaving here on Wednesday and you're feeling another way, please share that. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments, because you know that I active chat. I love, 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 love an active chat. And I would just love to hear from you. Okay. So, hello, Raf. Raf, if you want to drop in the comments like any shift, any change, anything that has happened for you through this 3-day event, or even since because you attended the first 3-day event and what you're feeling now, I would love to have it in the comments. And then we're going to continue to start talking because we are going to talk about the Diva timeline shifting method. Quickly, the Alignment Lab opens now. It's actually the welcome call is today at 1, so it's after the VIP call. And so I'm going to be talking about that, but I wanted to drop the link in the comments so that I do not forget to do that. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. There we go. So that I do not forget because I know myself. And I get excited and I start doing stuff. And then there's like, what's the link? And there's a payment plan and all of that. Affirm. If you can't do the payment plan, just message me. I can create one special for you. But let me do that and then I will put that in here. Is that the right one? Yes. No. Here we go. And then what we're going to do is, oh, Fathom. Here we go. There we go. I think this one should work. I should double check it too, but that's all right. We'll be all right. We'll see. If it doesn't work, guys, let me know. All right. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is the bridge, right? The bridge of bringing everything together that we've been talking about. And so, like I said, in the first day, we talked about the truth of reality shifting, which was your thought, your frequency, the feeling, and then you becoming energy in motion is when the timeline shifts. And it really starts with your decision point, which we are going to talk about today. Your decision is the manifested point. And then we talked about the map, which we have a picture of here. And that is I like to call it the identity spiral because I talk about identity-based manifestation so that you know you get to have it all and you just get to become the woman or the person who has it. And so we talked about those 9 different things. How many of you were like, oh goodness, yes, the 9 different things really hit home. I know for my ladies that are in the mastermind, I know they were like, this was a different way to talk about it because now you can kind of know where you are in that the spiral, and then you also can feel what threshold or what new decision, what expanded choice you get to make that walks you through that threshold. And that's why I love the way like thinking about it like that. And in VIP, we talked about the Align Soul Alchemy process, which helps you to, especially when you get caught in like 3 and 4, and like the evidence and the choice point when you were thinking about contracting, you do the Align Soul Alchemy method, and that helps you to expand through it. Yes. Let's see, the spiral made so much easier to identify where I am. It's so crazy. And one of the cool things about the spiral is that you can go through all of those points very, very fast. You can even dream yourself through some of the points. Like it's not very linear, and you'll see that one thing will be different for another thing. One experience will be different. Like the way you go through these is it's very different. So I love it. I love it. And then today it's going to be an activation. I'm going to take you through an activation so that you can really start to feel the thing that you desire, the thing that you decided gets to be yours, the experience, the version, the identity, you get to feel that. So we're going to have fun doing that too. And one of the things that I want to talk about is decision. So the Diva identity method all starts with a D, and the D is the decision point. And for me, when I was talking to you guys about timeline shifting, and there's so many stories of timeline shifting that I can tell. I mean, the ease and flow story. How many of you have heard the ease and flow story when I came out with 5 extra days of vacation and ease for the rest of my time at that company? That's a timeline shifting experience. And it all, you know what, I'm going to use that one because that one started with a decision. It really did. Let's see. Ralph said, I learned how to move emotions better than before. It helps me a lot. I move more, which is a part of shifting reality. Yes, that you taught us. I got a pay raise. Yeah. And I've been getting rewards left and right since joining the Aligned Soul Universe. Rob, I am so excited for you. Yes, 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 yes. And guys, you gotta follow Rob on TikTok because she does all of the ASMR for nature and it's meditations and all of the fun stuff. So I'm excited for you. And these are all examples of like as you're going up and when you start to move the emotions instead of letting them sit, it really does open you up for receiving more so much. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So the story that I wanted to tell is the moment of decision that I made. Um, and the reason why I love this story is because there are two distinct timeline shifts. It might be the same timeline, but it was like one distinct shift that confirmed that I had shifted timelines, and then another one that like anchored it in. And so with the ease and flow story, when I was creating this business that I'm in right now and also working in corporate, I was feeling overwhelmed. Like, I know we don't use that word in Align Soul. So let's just say I had an abundance of work. I had an abundance of work, an abundance of choices, an abundance of stuff like that was like, and it was like all on my shoulders, it felt like. And so I just wanted to feel, and when I think about it, I just wanted to feel ease and time abundance. Like I wanted to feel like I had enough time to do like whatever I wanted to do with it, free time. I wanted to be able to do this, what I'm doing here now, and I wanted to be able to sleep. Like I didn't want to have to be in the office all day, every day for hours on end. I really wanted to like shift into a reality where ease was just my natural state. And it wasn't. And so I remember it was a Sunday before. And I decided that I was going to feel ease and I was going to say I had as much time to do anything I wanted to do with it, even though the reality that I was living said, no, you don't. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. And I remember it distinctly. I put an alarm on my iPhone 4. This is how long ago it was. My white little tiny, it was probably, I don't know, the iPhone 4s probably about that big. They were so small. They were like half this size. And it was about this big. And I remember putting my little clock on, and every hour I said, ease, time abundance. Those were the two words. And so I walked into the office, and I mean, I had the email system was where I had all of like it was like a project management system for that company. And so I had a team in Tampa, a team in San Antonio, and a team in Toronto. And so I had them coming at me with the crazy things that was happening for them because they weren't feeling ease either. And I had all kinds of things that, like, if I hadn't filed it away, that means that it was something that I needed to do. And I had pages upon pages upon pages of emails, and it was thousands. I was like, oh my God. And so I just had the timer, and I would go, and I would say ease. Ease. And then I would say, I have so much time to do. I mean, I have so much free time to do anything that I want to do with it. I have so much free time to do whatever I want to do with it. Right. And so I just kept doing that for 2 minutes every hour on the hour. Even if I was in a meeting, I would say, I have to use the bathroom. People, I mean, promise you, they probably thought I had like a UTI. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. Or I would close my door, which I never did, and just give myself that time to just give myself that feeling because I decided that if I gave myself that feeling, do you see how I was imagining and feeling in my body? Do you guys see how I decided to give it to myself? I became the identity of the person who had ease, even in the midst of disease. And I gave myself this visualization, this imagining time of ease. And I just felt it in my body. And so I did it every day. Was coming home really, really late. Friday comes, and Jason Sorvillo, the vice president that I reported into, I love Jason. He came up to me and was like, Christine, come to my office. And I was like, universe. I wasn't ready to get laid off. What are you talking about? Like, what's going on? And the universe decided that I just need to get over it and breathe. So what I did was I was just like ease, ease before I went into the his office. And I was like, this all works out for me. And so I walked into his office and he told me, he was like, Christine, I don't know how we did this. Don't know how we did this. And I was like, did what? And he said, everybody that reports into you has 3 weeks of vacation because they all were manager level. And I was like over them, right? And he says, and you only have two. He's like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what happened. He's like, so here is 5 extra days of vacation to do anything you want to do with. And I go, I call my sister when I get back to my desk and I was like, yo, it's working. It's working. It's working, working. It's working. Right. So I'm like, it's working. Now, let's cut the story for a second. I also remember telling my sister that this is weird because I hired each and every one of those people that were on my team, which means I also gave them their employment packages, right? Their benefits package. So I remember going over their benefits package and it having 2 weeks of vacation, not 3. And there was no announcement. I searched emails, I searched everything. There was absolutely no announcement. When I looked at my paperwork that was signed, it had 2 weeks. I looked at the paperwork that I signed with them and it had now 3 weeks. And I'm like, no, it didn't. I know it was 2 because this is the same paperwork and it's just a different number. So this was the first confirmation that I had shifted timelines. I had shifted to a timeline where now this company gives 3 weeks of vacation. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And so it wasn't a huge shift. I still looked the same. The clothes were the same. The house was the same. Everything was the same, other than me manifesting, receiving, actualizing more time to do anything that I wanted to do with it. Are y'all picking? Let me know if you're getting what I'm saying. Let me know if you're getting what I'm saying. And so this was the first confirmation or first example of, oh, yeah, we've shifted timelines. Like this is different. This is a different reality, right? This is different. I manifested 5 extra days of vacation. And so I was all in, even though I was all in already, I was all in double time because I kept going. I kept going. I was like, I have so much time to do whatever I want to do with it. I'm feeling ease. I'm feeling ease. I'm feeling ease. And I remember Monday came, it was not ease. It was like, I think I went home at like 8 p.m. Tuesday came, not ease. I think that time I went home even later, like 10 o'clock. Wednesday comes, and I remember this distinctly. I was moving the last email out of my inbox. And remember, guys, I said there were thousands into a folder. Everything was handled. I felt so much ease in my body, and it was more than me going to the bathroom and more than me like breathing ease. It was just like, this is easy living. Like it felt so good. And I was like, what? So I called my sister because it was probably about 4 or 4:30ish. I called my sister and I said, hey, Kim, I was like, I am going to be coming home early. And she's like, you've been coming home early all week. Now, I distinctly told you, I remember coming home at 8 p.m. on Monday and 10 p.m. on Wednesday. I remember that. And I said, oh, okay. And she's like, because I feel so much ease. It's been so easy because my sister worked from home. It's so easy. Life is so easy. I was like, okay, she's reflecting that back to me. So then I start to call the people that reported into me after I let all the Tampa Lake people go, Carmen and Paul, I let them go. And I was like, y'all go home and come in late. I called Tony and Tony's like, what's up, boss? What's up? What's up? And I was like, Tony, I was like, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing good. I think I'm gonna leave early today. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, what about this problem? Because I had like a notebook and I was like, well, what about this, to make sure I was checking off the things. And he's like, that's handled. And I remember it was something about a vending machine. Like, what about this vending machine? And he's like, oh, they already fixed it. They handled it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, but what about this problem, this thing that you needed me or something? He's like, oh, they don't need it anymore. And he was like, boss, I feel so much ease. This has been the easiest week I've ever had. I was like, okay. I was like, well, you go home now. I was like, go home, enjoy your day. I was like, come in late tomorrow, enjoy yourself. He was like, okay. So then I called the Toronto ladies and they were like, Christine, we're leaving. And I was like, wait. I was like, before you guys leave, tell me what's going on. Like, give me the updates, right? I gave them the list. I said, what about this thing you need? And da, da, da. So they had me on speaker and they're like, we're good. They were like, everything is working out. They were like, this person doesn't need this anymore. This team handled this. This is this. They were like, we feel so much ease. And so I was like, okay. And so that them feeling that amount of ease, they started to feel ease because I was manifesting a world where I felt ease, which meant my team got to feel eased too. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And so that was the anchored in second timeline shift because I went from stressed out and exhausted and not like all of those things to feeling so much ease and having 3 weeks of vacation instead of two. That was clearly another timeline jump. And I was like, wow, like this is happening. And I remember creating a course. It was called Ease and Flow in 5 days. I tell the story. It was like my first offer that I ever created. And I think I sold like maybe one. I think it was like $7. But that's where that offer came from because of this. And so I tell this story to tell you that the decision, right? My decision that I was going to decide that I got to feel ease, that I was going to decide that I got to support myself, that decision was the shifting point. Like that was the manifested point. I didn't need to wait for the external to show me that yes, now you can feel ease. Now you can feel like you have so much time on your hands. Because me, just even the act of taking time for 2 minutes to do something was me saying I have so much time that I can do whatever I want with it. Because normally I was behind the computer, I was stressed out. I was like, I need to get everything done, using every single minute and every single day to get everything done. But me deciding that I was going to stop and not do the same things, I shook up the time. Like, let me know if y'all are picking up what I'm doing, what I'm picking up, what I'm putting down. Because those small shifts followed that decision. And then all of the evidence started to arise. All of the evidence started to unfold. And it's so funny because my sister even still remembers that. She still remembers and she's like, that was a crazy time period. And I'm like, it really was. And one thing that you get to know is that my job, when I stayed at that company, it was about between 6 months to a year after that, before I left, it never went back to that stress. It never went back to that stress. We all had 3 weeks of vacation, things were easy, like it never ever returned. And it was just because of a choice that I continued to make over and over again, even when the external told me no, even when like I should have been stressed, right? I just even giving myself that time to decide that I'm not going to choose stress right now, even though fire drills were like throwing at me all the time. And my list of things that everybody needed from me was getting longer and longer. And then the list disappeared. It got handled. And can I explain how? I can't, other than the fact that I decided and I shifted timelines. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know. And so that story is an example of the diva timeline shifting process. The diva timeline shifting process is really a living frequency because you see how I lived it, right? I decided, I shifted my identity to be the woman who lived with ease, like who had ease in her life. And I visualized, I embodied in my body every hour on the hour the feeling of having time to do whatever I wanted to do with it. And I imagined like what ease would feel like in my body. And I brought that into my body over and over and over again. Okay. And then I also didn't look to the circumstances to validate that it was okay. I didn't look to the circumstances to say, well, I still have thousands of emails, so nothing's changed. I decided that because I chose it, I validated myself. And I didn't look for the external to give me approval to do that. Are y'all picking up? So DIVV and then I aligned. Not only in that story, you can hear how I aligned my identity, like who I was, instead of being the frazzled, stressed out, like panicked woman that I was all those months before, every day. I decided that I was just ease. And then the people who were there, they were like, oh, wow, wow. I decided that that wasn't going to be who I was. Okay. And so when I decided that I wasn't going to be the stressed out, frazzled like woman, I I shifted my state energetically and emotionally. So energetically and emotionally, I shifted my state because instead of allowing, like I let myself feel what I needed to feel, I released that and then I chose what I got to feel. This is a piece of when the Aligned Soul Alchemy process started to come together because I would like move my body. And if I felt stressed, I would like it was step 3 of the Aligned Soul Alchemy process. And then I would bring ease into my body. And then I calibrated to when I just felt ease, even in the midst of like fire drill after fire drill after fire drill after fire drill, I calibrated to that being just normal for me. And even in the midst of when I was like freaked out because I thought I was getting laid off when I wasn't ready, I just was like, okay, no, let's go in there knowing that we're going to be fine. And I went in there knowing that I was going to be fine and left out with another week of vacation. Let me know, are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? When you decide, right, that you are going to, and it's similar to what Ralph said, she knows how to move emotions better, right? She's got the Aligned Soul Alchemy process. She knows how to be in a situation that could be high stress and walk with herself through that. And so that's what's super important for this and for you. Let me know if you are like, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And so I use that even in the midst of when I was filing for bankruptcy, y'all. Like I was also just like this, I'm stressed. I've got creditors calling me. The business wasn't, making the money that it needed to. So I'm driving Uber, delivering Postmates, Lyft, all of those things. And it's in the midst of also doing this. I had left corporate at that time. So that 6-figure or multi 6-figure like income stream was not there. And I still said, okay, this is going to be a masterpiece. I'm going to make this a masterpiece. And I had to learn how to regulate myself through that while taking the steps of feeling alive and feeling nervous and feeling scared, but deciding that I was the identity of the version of me that had a successful business. And so I'm saying this because when you decide it is really truly done, it is literally the manifested point. And so it's not like you pick a goal and then you're working towards it. When you decide it is already done and you are shifting to like you're allowing the 3D to catch up to you because that unseen world is the proof, it is the realness, it is the thing. And so when I've decided this has become done, then what you do is like you shift so that it's not just a thought. That's why I say take that decision, take that thing, speak it aloud so that it becomes real in this reality. And then also grab that idea and put it into paper. And so even when I'm doing the imaginings, if I imagine something, I write it down because I'm like saying, I'm physicalizing it and making it real for me. And so one of my clients did this. She decided and the evidence arrived for her. And she went from having, uh, I'll let her tell you. Watch this. You guys are gonna love.
Hey everybody.
Can you hear?
So, I made the decision to work with Christine Michelle Hayes, and best thing I could have done. I was heavily postpartum with my second boy. I was breastfeeding. I was, in that postpartum drop off hormonally, and I had no frigging clue how I was gonna fit my divine life purpose and my business alongside being the kind of mother I wanted to be for my two boys and living up to the standards that I need. I'm a medical intuitive. I've been a spiritual teacher for almost 20 years. And I work with vulnerable people, and I also train medical intuitives. And that's that requires love and skill and presence and a specific level of showing up. And Christine is just incredible. She really holds you and really doesn't judge you. She's been through it all in the background. Every kind of business crisis you could have, every kind of relationship crisis you could have, every kind of parenting crisis you could have, every kind of like carer of older people you could have. Plus, she knew exactly what to do with the racism and the misogyny and the sexism that we're navigating inside this collective consciousness. The woo and the do is what she calls it. But she's incredible. And I went from being stuck and scared um, to really stepping into my power as a mom and inside my divine life purpose. I really took control of my routine, of my meal prep, of my self care, without guilt, but through working with her. And we really did so much work on the belief that I had to work hard to prove my worth as a woman, as a mom, and that could allow myself to receive love and give love, but through systems that were smart instead of like through um, just, knuckling down in elbow grease, hard work as a parent. And she really also helped me implement, better discipline and stand my ground where it was necessary to really make my boys strong and happy and safe. And from the business perspective, the visibility, I mean, I just exploded. I have never had a best-selling book before, but with Christine's help, I went into three best-selling books in 1 year. And I already had one modality to my name, but I added four more. And when I say with ease, I mean with ease. Like the first one I found so hard to birth into the world, but the other four, I literally created them as I was teaching, and I was paid for them before they were even completely birthed into existence, and paid abundantly well. My income had lowered during maternity leave, from around the 20K months and the 100K months to around the 5K months. And within 3 weeks, I was really like trembling in in my shoes when I hired her, because financially, you know what happens postpartum. And within like, I think it was in 3 weeks, we launched the first program, and it was absolutely full. Um, and it just, God, it just glowed up, and I just loved it. I taught it in a way that allowed me to be present for my kids. That was one of the biggest things we worked around, was me feeling comfortable showing up with like a baby latched, or as with my kids in the background, instead of just always having to be perfect, right? Um, we worked through so many things that what I want to say is that she gave me the confidence to be more visible. So the three best-selling books, the really feeling safe and stable in my role as a mom and as a teacher, and in this new reality that is mom of multiples, as well as mom of multiple boys. And after working with her on the numbers and being able to hold it, letting go of a lot of the guilt and the taking too much responsibility and trusting the divine on a deeper level, I had 390 people sign up for one of my courses. Um, So if you're thinking about working with her, guys, just do it. The woman is incredible. She knows her stuff. She will get you to where you need to go, and she will do it without judgment. She will do it with such integrity and with such precision, and she's just so friggin' good. I love her, and I just know that you will too.
I have tears when I think about Skylar and where she was. But this is just it's an example of what's possible when you do decide. Um, she decided that this got to be different and she got to be a mom in a different way. And it does just totally change you. And it shifted her to the timeline where her visibility skyrocketed from a very low lull. And also, she had some challenges when it came to another previous the experience that she was in. So she was afraid to show up, and that shifted. And so we also worked with shifting her identity. And because when you think about the Diva timeline shifting method, you really do need to change your identity. And when I say change your identity, I don't mean you have to be a totally new person and not be the person that you are right now, because that usually concerns people. What I mean is that you get to choose how you are going to show up and what thoughts you're going to have, what beliefs you're going to have, what are you bringing with you as you shift into this timeline, because everything doesn't have to come with you. And you don't have to take on everything that was a part of your belief system, because most of the time it's not even you. It was things that were forced upon you. And that's a big piece when you think about your identity. Um, when I think about one of the things that I think about when I think about identity shifts and the work that we've done. One of my clients on the left, you'll see it's Melissa, Melissa Dillon. That's the insurance exam queen, the one I talk about all the time. And she's talking about how she went from that corporate teacher, right? She was a school teacher at 30,000, and then she was a corporate teacher. She went from 40 to 60, and then now she's making $150,000 a month, basically as a YouTube teacher, because people are buying her program and they're subscribing to her YouTube and then buying her $97 program. And I'm just, she went from $200 day. I remember she was wanted a $200 day to $1,000 day to now $5,000 days. And I'm really proud of her. And the Neptune and the moon is just on my the TikTok. Those of you who've been on the TikTok lives, we did some of the imagining sessions, which we're going to do all the time, every week in the alignment lab. She manifested 5,000. So Kelly, listen, $5,000. Manifested $5,000 and a new job with $5,000 more than what she had before. So I don't even mean 5,000 in addition, it was 5,000 more. And that's going to be, I calculated, what's that, $60,000 over the year if she stays with that company for a year. And so that was from one imagining session that we did that maybe Michelle or Melissa might have been a part of it. But she was like, ma'am, I got 5 extra G's a month just from that imagining, which is what I want to take you guys through. We're going to do it later. And so what I'm saying is that that just happened from a TikTok live free. Imagine what happens when you go into your imagination intentionally throughout your week and with a collective. And the reason why I think it was so powerful is because we collectively did it, and it might have been between 30 and 40 people on that live at that time. And so you collectively have everyone seeing each other like thriving. Imagine how powerful that is. Yeah. And then Tasha's on this call. Tasha has been in my world for a long time, and I've seen Tasha heal relationships with her family, heal relationships with her siblings, and just really start to show up more powerfully every single time. And so I'm sharing this so that you can know that you what you desire is possible. It does not have to take time. And so I remember Kelly was like, I'm concerned about the time it will take. It can be instant. That woman, we did that 3 minutes and 3 minutes and 3 minutes of the visualization that we're gonna do on this call. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. All right, so visualize. That's what's so important. That's what it's imagining. If you don't use the word visualizing, I like to use the word imagining because you feel with visualization, you think you have to see something. And with imagination, you can just imagine. We can all imagine. You can imagine on this call right now while I'm even talking, you can imagine the food that you're going to eat, right? Imagine yourself getting an email. Like you don't have to see it. You just can know what you're imagining and have a knowing state. And then what's different with my imaginings is that I really help you to bring it into your body and bring it into the now. And that's it's so powerful. So that is a big piece of what we're doing. We're doing that on a weekly basis in the alignment lab, because I know that that is what helps me shift timelines. You guys are going to get this deck. I want you to watch these videos because hello, it's already 11. I should have, I know I go longer. But they're great videos from some clients, current clients, prior clients, that have changed their lives and I'm just love it. All right, so validate. The validate piece is so important. We've talked about it over and over and over again. So we've got diva, decide, you have your identity, right? You have the visualization, which is also imagining. So maybe I could say Diva, Diiva. And then you have the validation. The validation point is so important because we, especially as people that were born female, women, we've been told to put our power and what we get to do and our abilities in someone else's hands, whether it's to get a certification, whether it's, you need to do this, you need to ask for permission here for you to think that you have it. How many of you have felt that? How many of you have ever thought, oh, I want to do this or I desire to have this type of business? Who am I to do that? Some of you have been married for a very long time and you kind of see maybe your validation was, well, my husband, like I have to make sure that he's okay. And of course, it's a partnership. I totally get that. But also sometimes we see ourselves in their eyes, like what they see us as, and versus seeing ourselves as something. And validation, when you're shifting a timeline, you've got to be your own validator. You've got to self-validate yourself and decide that, no, I've decided that this is what gets to happen for me, and so it is. And you've got to not look outside for proof for someone to confirm that this is possible. So when I give that example of me with the ease and flow, I stopped checking to see if I had ease and I would just decide that I could give it. And I kept giving it to myself over and over again, even when the circumstances told me that I shouldn't be able to feel that. And that is basically when you think of Melissa, and you remember how she said that she's gone from, like I remember $200 days to a $5,000 days every single day now. It's because she decided to validate herself. She decided to stop looking at the number of followers, the number of likes, the number of people in her programs, and just decided that she had a pop product that was amazing, that was in demand, and just have that certainty behind that. Okay. And if you want to see, this is a couple of years ago, she gave me this birthday video, which is right when she was hitting her $1 million year. So I love it. All right. And so lastly, it's the align, right? Align, which remember I said how I brought it all three together because your timeline shifts, your manifestations, it's a system. And it's a system made up of your identity, your state, and your calibration. Because when you think about your thought and your frequency and your feeling, you put all of those things together, you've got to calibrate it so that it becomes normal. And so you remember when I talked about the ease and flow, so I had the first shift into the timeline. Instead of denying it and be like, oh, I must be crazy, or oh, it didn't happen, or oh, maybe they just forgot to give me 5 days. Like I could have said so many things. I was like, I shifted, it's working. And I allowed myself to calibrate to ease being my norm. And that was one of the first indications that I was calibrating to it to be my norm. And so even when I had a late day on Monday and a late day on Tuesday, I just kept saying, everything's working out for me. I'm feeling ease. I'm choosing ease. And sometimes it's like that Delulu is the Salulu. How many of you have heard that before? Delulu being the Salulu doesn't mean that, that you're ignoring all things. If I felt sad, if I needed to cry, I gave myself the space to cry and release and move through that energy. And I then said, okay, instead of making it mean anything about me, I decided that I'm choosing ease right now. Because if I can choose to, move through things, if I can choose anger, if I can choose frustration, I can also choose ease. If I can choose anger and frustrations and annoyance, I can also choose to feel joy. When you remember that these are your choices and you have this power to choose, that's when you like it just, it's amazing. All right. And so there's just so much that I want to say. You guys have to watch that one, the Divine Receipts one. It's about 3 minutes. It's from Anne. Anne just had in November a $500,000 month. She has multiple different types of businesses, but that wasn't what was happening for her before. And so she's certainty, she believes in herself. She's went through a grieving period of losing of transitioning. Her dad transitioned. And so I just want you to know that there's different women. Like she has a construction business. She also has a coaching business. She has a lot of different types of businesses. You got medical intuitives, you got actors, actresses. This works for everyone. And it's the woo and the do. Like Skylar said, it's the woo, this timeline shifting, that piece, but it's also the actions that you get to take. And that's one of the biggest things that I love to do. Okay. All right. And so what does it actually look like? So you make the decision. That's where the change happens first, right? You'll then start to see like money and relationships change, right? For me, it was, I started to see time freedom that started to unfold for me. And then, people started to respond differently. Oh, I'm feeling so much ease. There's so much ease in my life. My sister was like, I'm feeling so much ease, right? And then opportunities, right? 5 new days of vacation, like all of those things. That's kind of how you start to see it when you are doing this every single day. You now have the formula. You know that you make your decision. You know that you shift your identity. You know that you visualize or imagine throughout your day, not just once. You can do it in the beginning of the day, the end of the day. Yes, I love those times. And I talk about those times because in the beginning of the day, the first 8 minutes, your subconscious and your brain are open, 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 and ready to be programmed. So it's good to do your visualization when you first awake before you get out of bed, right before you go to sleep. It's great for that to be the last thing you think. Yes, yes, yes. However, also throughout your day, a couple of minutes. What are you doing? Sometimes you're watching TV. In the middle of watching TV, you can close your eyes and give yourself like 3 minutes to imagine, 2 minutes, commercial break, whatever. You can do that throughout your day. Okay, so decide identity, visualize, imagine. You get to validate, right? Validate yourself. Stop looking for validation outside of people and align your identity, your state, and your calibration. And you'll start to see shifts like that. If you guys have questions, drop it in there. And if you're part of VIP, which we do in a couple of minutes, we will have those questions. So look, I'm just going to say it. The Alignment Lab is a freaking amazing place. I know that you guys have the opportunity to be a part of it. And if it's not the time now, it'll be the time eventually. It is one of the best things that I've created. I really like when I think about what I've created over the years, which is a lot. Um, the Alignment Lab, the reason why it's hitting so well to me is because it's what I knew I needed when I was going through the bankruptcy, when I was going through all of that. And the reason why I I made the decision and the choice that I did is because I knew that I needed to create my own like protocol. I needed to show up for myself every single day. I needed to do all of those things. And it was very challenging, even though I was in a group and in a program and in all of these things. You remember, I invested all of this stuff, right? And so I did all the things, I did all the work, but I didn't see it unfold. And it was because I was more taking the action, but I wasn't shifting my identity and being that identity throughout the day because life happens and you forget. How many of you are like, you're like, I'm going to be this identity, this is who I am. And then life starts happening and you're still responding as the old you. How many of you have done that? And it's okay because it's normal. And so one of the things that I'm excited about is that when you start to self-validate and start doing these kind of things, you wake up in your identity. You move through threshold 4, which is the threshold that usually, right? That's where you start self-sabotaging. That's where the epigenetic stuff comes up. That's where all of those things like come up. And when you decide that I'm going to start trusting myself, I'm going to validate myself, I'm going to really give myself the power to do that, then the challenges that will say, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then when you answer those challenges and walk through that threshold, that 9 days, that 9 threshold spiral, when you start walking through those thresholds, you start to see, wow, I'm freaking powerful. I'm freaking powerful. So what you get to do is you get to become the person that reality bends for you, bends for you. And when I say it's a 90-day spiral, a cycle, you get to do as many 90-day cycles as you desire. I put 4 up here because they're usually like in the beginning, you want to show yourself your power. And so that means to me, the first 90-day cycle that you do, you get to shift every area of your life just by shifting who you are. You get to see your entire life shift, right? Like Rob said, I started to move emotions better and I got a raise. It wasn't that she was manifesting a raise, I got a pay raise, right? I get these rewards. Things are just happening, they're unfolding. And so when you decide that I'm just the woman, the person that things just work out for, then you start to feel your power and you start to be like, oh, I'm a timeline shifter. I see this. And then you can quantum leap the money reality. And then, like, all of that gets to happen. The money comes, but then you get to quantum leap into a bigger money reality, right? The relationships, the soft life, like all of those things get to start shifting and they get to shift around you. And so, what I am so excited about is that um, it's a very simple process, the way the alignment lab works, because you get oriented, okay? You start doing the diva practice, right? This process every single day. You go up the spiral and you'll know what part you're in, and you'll also get a list of like, I'm doing these videos tomorrow. I'm recording these videos that are like, this is spiral 1. When you are in this part of the spiral and this comes up, this is the tool or process that you get to use. So it's very clear, we're step by step what you get to do. And so you always never have a question of like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? All of those things. And you really get to like show up for yourself because we're going to have like a 7-day experience where you come in as the version of you, the most expanded version of you, in that identity, dressed like that version of you, talking and having those conversations that that version of you are having with each other, with me, so that you can start your day in that identity and just continue the day through that identity. It's just fun. It's fun. And of course, there's the just many different ways that you can fully embody this version of you. And so you get support at what are some of the most challenging moments. I remember Tasha yesterday when she's like, what moment am I in? And it's like, yep, you're in 3 because everything's starting to unfold. And then you're very close to choosing to self-sabotage or to not. And just the ask of it is like, okay, I'm not self-sabotaging myself this time. She gets to go through the threshold. She gets to say, I'm not doing this and keep rising up the spiral. And so knowing that you're not alone in this is what's important to me. That's why I wanted it to be more of a community, and a community that's not even a membership. It's a community that you get to choose to be a part of just from, you do one 90-day cycle and you're never leaving. Like you get to continue to be a part of this community. And so that's where you have the win wall and all of the things where you get to just continue to post the little things that are happening and the big things that are happening so that you can really, start to show yourself what your power is. And so I'm so excited. And there's so much more that I could say, but I know that like we are almost done. And I want to, if you have questions about the Alignment Lab, it's $9.97 right now. That's the special link, the Square link that gives you that and a 4-part payment plan. Let me know if you have questions. If you can't do Square because you're in another country, let me know. I'll create my own payment plan in my company, and then you can do that. If you're like, I want to join, but I have money, like I would love to join, and I'm excited about improving my money mindset. Notice the words. It's not about I can't do it now, blah blah blah. No, it's like I'm choosing to improve my money mindset first. And then let me know, message me. I'll get you access to the Money Manifesting Intensive and the Conscious Money Mindset. Do that one first, and then do the Money Manifesting Intensive. That's free. It's my gift because you're doing this. And so there's just so many things that I could say, like there's the map, the tools, the practice, the community, but it's not about that. It's about you being in the room and you becoming that version of you. We're going to have a full course library, very simple, short, to the point, 5 to 10 like minute videos that I'm going to drop and you will have access to. So you just will never be lost, so that you'll always know, okay, this is what's happening in my life. This is where I am. What do I choose? What's the next step? How do I move through this? You'll always have support to do that. So if Alignment Lab is the place that you want to be because you are becoming that version of you that doesn't have a question, that knows, not even that doesn't have a question, that knows that those answers are within and knows how to access them, and also knows how to access her own inner Gus voice, just message me. And I am so happy to have spent this time with you. It's 11:11, y'all. It's 11:11. Yay. All right. The wrap up is you know everything you need to know now. You have every piece that you get to have. Of course, we're going to have the Q&A in a bit, in about what, 29 minutes or 19 minutes. You know that timelines are real. You know that timeline shifting is real. You know the Wundu identity spiral now, right? With the 9 thresholds. You know what the Diva timeline shifting method is. You'll have this. I'm going to print this out. Like you're going to have the PDF of this. You know the alchemy process. You know all the things that you need to know to start shifting your timeline, and you can take this and do this for yourself today. And so I want to know, do you guys have any questions for yourself? Anything that I can answer for you today before we go? Before I go, I'm just so excited for, let me stop the share so I can see your guys. Do you guys have any questions? And I'd love to hear. I know like Kimber and Tasha are in there. We have about 13, I think, total that are a part of the Alignment Lab, which has been, we're excited, and it gets to continue to grow. Like I said, we're going to do Alignment Lab events. We're going to do some Diva meetups, things like that. That'll be really fun. And I'm looking forward to it. We'll do them in different cities. Depending on how big it gets, we'll do some breakout rooms. So you'll have like your own group of people that are in your area where you can do some of the in-person, like manifesting. There's some things that I'm bringing in where you get to speak it and have a conversation, because doing it awake with your eyes open is amazing. And you imagine it and then bringing it into your reality while you're feeling it. It takes it to another level as well. So, all right, guys, let's see. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions about the Diva timeline shifting, the decide, identity, your visualization, your validation, the alignment? Do you have any questions about that? Do you have any questions about any of this? Because I'm really excited. I don't see any questions. All right. What about, do you have any commitments after this call? We already know Kelly is making videos on YouTube. I like what did you call it? The rants, right? I forget, it's something in rants. What are you choosing to do? What is something that you can commit? Fan rambles. Yes, I said rants, fan rambles. So you're going to do fan rambles, which I love. And I think the reading is going to be perfect for that. What about you guys? Anyone else want to say what you're committing to do? Kelly's going to commit to doing videos. I know Tasha And Kimber, you guys are already, we commit to do a ton of stuff already. Ralph, what are you committing to do? Michelle, Melissa, what are you guys committing to do? Because when I committed that time to just give myself ease and give myself time abundance, even when the 3D told me, girl, you are being delusional. That was the shift. That was the manifested point. That was when I just committed and committed and committed to just showing up for myself and doing it over and over again. And so I am telling you, when you just decide and then take those little tiny steps, be the identity of the woman I decided, and this is who I am. I'm telling you, it's just going to change your world. It really, truly, 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 truly will. Let's see. Okay, so can we do one imagining before I go? We're going to do it 2 minutes at a time if you guys have time, because I wanted to do an imagining session, but this took so long today, but it was a good day. I'm glad I told the story about the ease and flow because you'll be able to re-listen to it. Oh, by the way, you guys have access to this forever. No one's going to come back and take it from you. You have access to this forever. And those of you who are part of the Aligned Soul universe, you have access to, I think I'm going to create a section where it's like 3-day events so that we can just have all the 3-day events all like around each other. That way you'll be able to pick and choose which 3-day event you want to go and watch again. Okay. And I might, now that I know, I might be able to like get some slides made for the first 3-day event and then put those slides in the first 3-day event. Yeah, yeah. So, okay. All right. So let's close our eyes. What I want to do, what we did that was so good that helped Neptune and the moon. We did a visualization first, knowing, oh, here's Michelle. Let's see. We did a visualization that was first of us, right? Everybody, you know what you want to manifest, and you're imagining someone else celebrating that they have manifested exactly what you have. So, for example, it was very simple because we were like, oh, 5,000 in 2 days, right? So someone came and was like, oh my God, I manifested 5,000 in 2 days. And then we played with that. But for you guys, I want you to pick, if we pick something simple, that we all can manifest together, what would that be? It could be what we can do is imagine a friend of yours coming to you and saying that, I hit that goal, and then I can give you a moment. You'll hear whatever goal, like whatever intention you have, we'll do that. We'll imagine and say, oh my God, I hit that intention. I hit that intention. Okay. So that's the first one for 2 minutes. And then the next 2 minutes, you're going to imagine someone that this is the challenging part. It's someone that you either used to have a beef with, or you used to someone that you would maybe be jealous if they got what you wanted, but you're going to imagine them coming to you to say that they got it. And the reason why you're doing this is because there is no jealousy when you have something too. When you are a millionaire, you're not jealous of other millionaires because you're like, we're all millionaires. That's no big deal. When you have someone who's manifesting like the success in their YouTube channel, and you got the success in your YouTube channel too, you're celebrating with them. You're like, I'm happy for you. I'm so proud of you. Like you're at peace because you have it too and they have it. So we all get to have it, right? Do you feel what I'm saying? So that's the second visualization. And then the third visualization is going to be you imagining giving, right? Whatever, like if you can think of, like, let's say it was a dollar amount that you're imagining, you're going to imagine yourself giving that, writing a check to a charity or an organization and giving that to them. So when you can do that and you do all of those things, then you really start to embody the being the person who has it. Because when you manifest it for someone else, when you see someone else have it, you have it, they have it, you'll see yourself have it because you're giving it. So if you're giving something, of course you have it, right? And then you also get to have peace about it, right? And it's from a detached standpoint because it's not your visualization, it's visualizing for someone else. All right, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set 5 minutes. Maybe I can do six. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, yeah, we can do six real quick. Um, oh, let's see. Next time I know my slides need to be shorter. So all right, we're gonna do 6 minutes. Close your eyes. You can put your hand on your heart, and if you want to, you can put your other hand on your womb space. Okay. Close your eyes. If you're not driving, if you're listening to this and driving, just keep your eyes open. Take a deep breath in and just bring yourself back to your body. Deep breath in. And a breath out. And one more, a deep breath in. And we're going to breathe out longer than we breathe in. That signifies that you're safe in your body. And you are imagining a friend of yours is coming up to you. They are coming up to you, and you're like, hey, girl, she's got this look on her face. They've got this look on their face. And they're like, oh my God, I just manifested this thing, and say whatever it is, whatever you are manifesting, they just manifested it. Whether it's $10,000 month, $6,000 through my own business, $20,000 through my own business. I just manifested it. And I want you to imagine yourself. You can just feel it, and you're just jumping up and down and giving that person a big hug. All right. In that scene, let it happen again. This person is walking up to you, and they're like, I just manifested. And then say what they manifested, whether it's $5,000, $6,000, $20,000, $10,000, clients, a relationship, whatever it is. They're like, oh my God. And you are so happy for them, so proud of them. It's like jumping up and down. This is the way. Yay. And do it one more time. Like they're coming up to you. This time your back is to them. They tap you on the shoulder. You turn around, and they've got this biggest smile. And they're like, I just manifested. And say it. What did they just manifest? What did they just manifest that you were like so excited for them, so feeling it in your body, jumping it around and just saying like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Okay. Take a deep breath. And now you have your back turned, and someone's walking up to you a little slowly. They don't want to frighten you. They tap you on the shoulder, and you turn around, and it's the friend. It's the friend that you may have had beef with, a partner, or maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a parent. And they're coming up to you and saying, you know what, I knew you would be the one who would understand this. And I had to tell somebody, and I knew I could tell you, I just manifested this. What is it? What did they just manifest? Was it the $6,000? Was it the new apartment? Was it the $20,000 month? What was it? And you're proud of them. You're at peace. We're gonna do it one more time, three more times. They're gonna come up to you again, and they're like, I've got to tell you something. Look, I know we had our beef, we had our issues, but I need you to hear this because I know you would get it. I just manifested this. I just manifested this home. I just manifested this new job. I just manifested it, and I knew you would appreciate it. I knew you would. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sitting with me and celebrating with me. Okay. One more time. This person is coming up to you, and they're like, I had to tell you this because I knew only you would get it. I just manifested this, and it's blowing my mind. I just did it. And you're feeling it in your body. It's exactly what you've manifested, is exactly what you have. And you're so happy for them because you're like, I knew, you know what, it couldn't happen to a better person. And I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Okay. Now take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Oh, and you can shake that off and just feel that pride, feel the happiness, feel the peace. And now you are walking into this charity. You're walking into this space. You're walking up to the organizer, and you tap them on the shoulder and you say, I have this check for 6,000, 20,000, 10,000. And I am so happy that I get to donate this to your organization. And I want you to see the people that are there. Some of the people that are there are the ones that are going to benefit from this donation from you. And the organizer is like, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what we needed. And I want you to imagine those women, those people, the people that are benefiting from this, the dogs, the cats, the people that are benefiting, the animals that are benefiting from this. I want you to imagine the joy. I want you to imagine the smile on your face, the pride that you have, your shoulders are rolled back, your heart is open. And I want you to, okay, one more time, you're going to walk through, open that door. You're walking straight up to the organizer and you're saying, I'd like to donate this to your experience, your business, your charity. I appreciate the work that you do. And this is a token of my appreciation. And you see the smile on their face, and you see the smile on the people's faces around you. You see the smile on the people that in the people that are benefiting from this, from the animals, from the people that are benefiting from this. And I want you to feel the pride that of course you can do this. Of course you can donate 6,000 and 20,000 and 10,000 and whatever, because you have made a difference in this world, because you are doing your purpose work, and because you have something that people want, the entertainment, the pride, the helpfulness. Of course, this is working for you. Of course it is. And I want you to say thank you and thank you and thank you and feel that in your body. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And open your eyes. Open your eyes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. How did that feel? I would love to know, how did that feel for you? How did that feel? Sometimes we'll hear like when with the first piece, you're excited. You're like, that's right, you get the excitement in. For the second one, it's a piece. It's a I'm happy for you and I'm at peace, because it's a healing between that relationship. Okay. And then the last one, there's a pride, there's a joy, there's a I'm really proud of myself because I created this and now I'm able to do this. And the reason why I pick all three of those, there's usually another one, and then we'll do that alignment lab. But the reason why I picked all three of those is because they're really impactful. They really are. Hello, Hildegard. VIP is going to start in 3 minutes. So those of you who are on this call, if you are VIP, stay. I'm going to put some music on for the next 3 minutes. If you are not VIP and you're about to drop off, I want to say thank you, because this has been an amazing 3 days and you have everything you need. If you are interested in the alignment lab, message me. If you are interested in like taking this to the next level, message me. If you are like, I'm ready to improve my money mindset, message me for your gift. And Kelly, you're VIP, but if you don't, I think you might have conscious money mindset already. And I think you may have money manifesting intensive, but if you don't, if you guys are VIP and you don't have those, message me. I will make sure that I get you access to them, because like I said, there's never any pressure to join anything. And in fact, I would love for you to get benefits and see like these things like work for you, similar to how Neptune and the moon came to a couple of lives and now she's got $5,000 extra a month. Like this is what happens. That's what happens when you can't connect to that imagining and when you do the process that I'll be taking everyone through in the alignment lab. Okay. So let's see. Can you say that? Oh, I was saying, do you have, oh, let's see. Hi, everyone. I made it live to the call. Yes, you did. I was asking if you had access to conscious money mindset and the money manifesting intensive. I was thinking that you might already, but if not, like I'm gonna give it to everybody. Okay, yeah, check. So, because if you aren't ready to go into the alignment lab, that would be a gift for me to you guys so that you can do the things that you need to do, expand your money mindset, make a whole bunch of money, and then you're like, hey, let me come into the lab. It's all for me, right? It's all for me. No, I'm just playing. All right, guys. So what, I mean, do I really need to start music and stuff? I might as well just get us started, right? We might as well get started. Let's see. You're welcome, Michelle. Michelle, and if you're a part of VIP, stay on. We had such a good call today. Let's see. I took out my earbuds to charge for a bit, and I can't really hear through my phone speakers because my ears are currently. That is okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, what we are going to do, hold on. I need to get to day three. Where are we? Okay, here we go. Day three VIP. Oh, guys. Okay. Let me. I'm happy that you're over being sick. That's important. Did you have like an ear infection? Because those are the worst. Those are the worst. Oh no, it was a cold. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you're getting better. All right. What we are going to do, I'm going to start sharing because we can get started here. Can you guys see? All right. So, day three of the She Who Shifts event is usually fixed on, we talked about what we talked about in the last 3 day event, which would be the 10 commandments, which I like to call them. And we also talk about the 45-day protocol. Um, and I also want to do Q&A kind of how we did yesterday so that everybody has their space to ask questions and all the things. Now, it is a tighter timeline because the Alignment Lab welcome call is happening at 1. So we're going to move fast through a lot of this. And hold on, let me make sure I have the chat so I can see the chat. Yes, I can. But what I probably should do, hold on, let me stop the video and then restart it. I'm going to stop recording.